Hello class, in this video I'll be introducing the average rate of change formula. Let's begin. The average rate of change of f of x with respect to x for a function f as x changes from a to b is f of b minus f of a divided by b minus a. So this formula represents a change in output divided by a change in input. So let's take a look at a couple of examples. Find the average rate of change of g of x is equal to 18 divided by x minus 8 over the closed interval 5 to 6. Explain why the average rate of change is an exact change over the given interval. Okay, so we need to apply the average rate of change formula. So here we're going to have g of 6 minus g of 5 all divided by 6 minus 5. And I'm going to use Decimus to evaluate g of 6 and g of 5. I've gone ahead and entered the function into Decimus, and now all that's left to do is evaluate this function when x is 6 and when x is 5. So we have g of 6 is negative 9, and g of 5 is negative 6. From Decimus, we learned that g of 6 is negative 9, and g of 5 was negative 6. And we're going to divide that by 6 minus 5. So we have negative 3 divided by 1, which is negative 3. So the average rate of change over the closed interval 5 to 6 is negative 3. The average rate of change is the exact change of g of x over the interval because the span of the interval is 1. Let's take a look at another example. Find the average rate of change of g of x is equal to the square root of the quantity 3x plus 1 in the closed interval 1 to 5. Explain why the average rate of change measures the average change per unit over the given interval and is not an exact change. To find the average rate of change over the closed interval, we need to apply the average rate of change formula. So this will be g of 5 minus g of 1 divided by 5 minus 1. And I'm going to go ahead and use Decimus to evaluate g of 5 and g of 1. So I've gone ahead and entered the function into Decimus, and now all that's left to do is evaluate g of 5 and g of 1. So we have g of 5 and g of 1. So when x is 5, g of x is 4, and when x is 1, g of x is 2. So the average rate of change is 4 minus 2 divided by 5 minus 1, which is 2 divided by 4, which reduces to 1/2. So the average rate of change of g of x over the closed interval 1 to 5 is 1/2. So why does the average rate of change measure the average change per unit and not an exact change? Well, the average rate of change measures the average change per unit because the span of the interval is not 1. In fact, the span of the interval is 4 because 5 minus 1 is equal to 4. And we are done.